Always, this podcast is presented to you by the all-new Seltos SUV from Kia, official vehicle of the Orlando Magic. Give it everything, guys. We got a lot of sponsors in this podcast. We're a huge revenue generator, Nick Vucevic. It's great to have you on the podcast. This podcast is a huge revenue generator for the company, so we're excited about that. But it's good to have you, man. It's great to have you with us. And how you holding up in there? You look good. You look refreshed. How's things going inside the campus?
Pretty good. It's been almost a month now, and it went by pretty fast. With the practice and stuff, it takes a pretty big chunk of the day, and then the rest of the day, you're trying to find things to do. When it's not the end of the world outside with the rain and storms and stuff, right. We can use the pool a little bit. Or if not, then when it rains, it kind of gets a little boring when it rains because you're stuck in the room. You can't really do much, but. You figure it out, video games, movies, shows, reading books, watching, documentaries, different things. Stay busy, a lot of FaceTime with the family, of course. Hang out with the guys. We have a players' lounge. We can do different things. So I think the NBA did a pretty good job organizing stuff for us. And also, a couple of days off. We got to go golfing a little bit. It wasn't great, but at least it was a little bit outside, got some vitamin D, and so
there you go.
How is your golf game coming along, Vooch? How's your golf game coming along?
So it's not. I mean, it's taking little steps forward. With the irons, I'm not bad actually. I actually hit the ball. I'm not bad with the irons. I'm getting there. But
do you miss the ball with your woods or something? You just miss the ball altogether? Yes.
Happens.
Okay.
Or I'll hit the ground. And then, I'll take a big chunk of grass and dirt out of, the ground, but that happens. But, the driver and the woods, it's, they're longer clubs. So, it's a little harder. So it gets tricky, but the irons, I'm okay. The putting too, not bad. Obviously I have a long way to go. It's, very difficult sport and takes a lot of practice, a lot of just playing over and over again, but I'm getting there, but the thing that I think also wasn't helping us was AG, DJ, MCW, and myself. And AG is pretty decent, but the rest of us are not good. So, if you make a mistake, there's nobody to tell you, hey, you can't do that. So, you kind of go mistake into mistake into mistake. But it was just fun being out there, hanging out with the guys. I mean, the courses are great, but sometimes you hit the ball and you feel like you're Tiger Woods, and then the next time, you missed the ball, but it was fun.
And then you feel like me. Right.
It's fun. I actually really enjoy the sport. I just started playing like 2 months ago, so I enjoy it. It's fun, so something I can keep on doing.
Hey, Vooch, George Galante was not included in the 37 that were invited to the bubble. I've got to think that the players really miss George, and you in particular. How has it been not having George around for 3.5 weeks?
Well, at least I don't have someone hassling me to do media all the time. So that part I don't miss as much. But he'll still text me every day about media this, media that, and doing all these sessions. And we have the media sessions. He's on there, so it's kind of like he's here. Just I don't have to see his face, so that helps.
I'm lurking. I'm always lurking.
He's always there.
It's good to be in demand, though, Vooch. I mean, if people don't want to talk to you, then you got to start worrying about it. Tell us about how the basketball is going. How do you feel that the team has come together and gelled in the 3-game scrimmage set that you guys have just finished?
Well, I think that each game, I think we played a little better, which is what we wanted. I think the last game against the Nuggets, was our best showing. We played really well on both ends of the floor. It was great to have J.I. and Markel back. They both had, also it was very limited minutes. They both played really well, especially J.I. But I think that they're just, little by little, and I think we're getting there. It's hard, when you don't, in the middle of the season, you just stop, and then you go 4 months without, doing any contact, anything, any team stuff, to come back and kind of have to do it all in 3 weeks of camp and a couple of scrimmages. But I feel like our focus was good. We really brought the energy. That was something that was really good for us in practice. We were really motivated to work, and so obviously there are little things that that we'll have to figure out as we go. But I think we have a good idea of what we need to do to be good. And we have 2 more days. Today we have practice, and then tomorrow, and then we got to get ready for Brooklyn. But I feel confident where we at. I think that we can obviously take steps forward as we go. But obviously, this first game is very important for us against Brooklyn, who we're fighting for the 7th spot. So hopefully we'll come out ready. And if there are little things, that we, don't get right away, hopefully we can make that up with some good energy and, playing together and stuff like that, which can help a lot. But I think that we really have an idea of what we need to do in our defensive end, which is most important for us. And then offensively, when we move the ball and play together, good things usually happen. So hopefully, we're ready to go. That'll be a big, great way for us to start if we can get that win on Friday.
It's funny the way Steve Clifford and some of the other people kind of pitched it to us before you guys played that first scrimmage we thought it was going to be like Space Jam when the Monstars zapped the energy from the NBA players. It didn't really paint a great picture, but you guys are a lot further along, I think, than everyone expected, and you feel comfortable with where you're at, and there's got to be a sense, Vooch, that the NBA is going to pull this off. You guys are going to be able to finish these seeding games and ultimately crown a champion here in a couple months.
Yeah, I think that first to answer the first part of the question, honestly, I thought I wasn't sure how everybody's gonna look, and I mean everybody that's here, all the teams and players, once we start playing, because you haven't played in so long, it's so different than doing individual work, running, conditioning, all that, and obviously I thought that guys looked pretty good, and I think that a lot of it also was us missing the game, just being motivated to play, and it showed. Obviously nobody played major minutes, but nobody looked bad out there. We all look pretty good, and so it was good to see that, and it was good to be back out there and compete with the other teams and have just have fun, enjoying playing ball. And like I said, as each game went on, I think we all played better and felt better. So that's most important. It takes some time sometimes to get back into game shape, get back your rhythm. Usually you have a month of camp and 6-7 preseason games. Now I know it's all shorter, but I think that we made the best of it. And as far as the other part, I think we're going to be able to see these through. I think that the NBA did a great job organizing this bubble, to every last little detail. I know at first when we came in, there were little things that weren't perfect, but it was first time this ever happens. Any sports or anything in the world. So. I think they were able to actually fix those little issues very quickly, which is not easy to do considering everything that's going on in the world. So it's been good. I mean, obviously the main thing is that we didn't have any positive cases. That everybody that's here has been clear of the virus, and that was the main thing. And so going forward, as long as everybody respects all the protocols, all the rules, we shouldn't have any issues. And once we start playing and stuff, you're not even going to think that you're in the bubble. It just plays every other day, and you're going to have back-to-backs and stuff. So you're going to be so focused on the game that. But also, I think a lot of credit to the players for taking this seriously and doing it right, and following all the protocols. It's very important. But it was just great teamwork. From the NBA, the NBPA, us, the players, everybody that's involved. And it's great to see. I think it also sends a right message to the world that if we can all do it here, it can be done anywhere.
Yeah.
Vooch,
Hey, Vooch, go ahead,
Jeff.
George.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to just kind of following up on the bubble atmosphere. Evan has come out a few times and said that it's much like a village, like an Olympic village, a European Championship village, something like that. You've had a little bit of experience with that. My personal experience was that there's maybe a higher degree of focus in a situation like this, because it's really 24/7 basketball, isn't it? There's not a lot of free time. You talked a little bit about, but once we start playing, it seems to me the attention to detail will be even heightened, I guess, because of the film sessions, the opportunity to, the practices and things like that. Do you feel that way too, that it's going to be a good brand of basketball because of the attention to detail?
Yeah, for sure. And also, I mean, these last, these 8 games, are all very important games or seeding games. Either you're fighting for the top spots or you're fighting to make it. So each game is very important. So teams are going to have to bring their best, each day. And I mean, yeah, when you're finished with practice, although you're done with it, you're still around other players, you're still around the coaches and stuff. So there's always, basketball going on around, and it's always talked about, and you think about it. Because, because of the setup. So, but the attention to detail is going to be very important, especially for us when we're trying to get to that 7th spot, and past Brooklyn. And so we're going to have to be at our best. But I think that's the case for every team. And also teams understand that, you don't have 82 games to get ready for the playoffs. Now you have 8. And so I think that everybody's going to take these 8 games very seriously, whether they need it or not, for seeds or not, is also to make sure they're ready when the playoffs come, when they're ready to go. Because it takes time to get to your best, as much as, all the work we do and everything. There's nothing like playing actual games. But, so I think that's the basketball we're going to see is going to be, pretty tense, and, guys are going to be very locked in.
Coach, how much contact have you guys had now with other players on other teams? And are you getting a sense from other players on other teams that they're as tied together as as your ball club seems to be? I mean, does there seem to be a variety of readiness, I guess, as we get ready for the seeding games?
I mean, I saw a couple of the guys, from Serbia yesterday. All of us had a day off yesterday, so I was able to hang out with them. But I mean, they all kind of in different positions. Like Bogdanovic from the Kings, they're trying to make it, so it's it's a different position for them. Jokic, obviously they're trying to stay in the top 3, and the Goodrich from Grizzlies, they're also trying to hold on to the 8th spot. So they're all in different positions. So it's interesting to see how they're preparing for this, how they're getting ready. But they all said that all their teams were really motivated. They're all locked in. They look good. And so I think it'd be really fun to see how all the teams respond in this environment and when the real game starts. But so far you can tell from everybody that everybody's motivated, and we're here now. So I think it's time to go. So everybody's I think that guys have had positive attitude about this, which I think was kind of also a concern for a lot of people, because it's the first time we are in this position, away from family. You're you kind of you have your room, and that's about it. So but I think that players have done a good job of making the best of this so far.
So we've asked you how you're doing and how your teammates are doing in there. How's your wife doing outside the bubble without you being at home, and with your son and with another baby on the way? How is your wife handling all this?
Well, she's great. She finally kicked me out of the house after 4 months, so she's like loving it. That's the difficult part, I think, for them as well as for myself. But luckily, I was able to get. My parents came to visit before I left a little bit, and they're able to stay with her now and help out. And then her parents are supposed to come in hopefully in the next couple of weeks as well. And so that would be that was very important, for me, knowing that I'll leave her. She's pregnant, 7 months in, with another baby, and our son, who's never stops moving around until he goes to bed. I knew her by herself would be impossible for her, and I didn't want to put her in that position. So it was great to have family come here, and makes it easier. She has somebody to be with. They can help her out, and but that was the hardest for us, because after in season you're kind of used to you're in and out. You're here for a couple of days, you leave. It's kind of how it is, and then we know that going into the summer we'll have a couple of months just to do whatever we want. So where now it was like we had 4 months where we're just together every day. I had time to spend with my family, and it was that was the best part of it. And all of a sudden I'm gone for like 2, 3, who knows how long. I won't be able to see them at all. And maybe after the first round if they're able to come in. But so that's that was the most difficult part. But we just kind of understood it. It's the way it is. It's my job, and as long as we're able to bring somebody to be with her, we'll be able to do it. So I think that's for everybody that has families. That was the most difficult part.
Well, congrats again on number 2 on the way here, Vuce. I think that's exciting. And now we're going to make a little money here for the organization. Florida, if you need to venture out to get your essential items, please don't get behind the wheel if you've been drinking. Instead, find a designated sober driver or use a delivery service. And remind your designated driver to always wear their safety belt and comply with the speed limit. We want everyone to make it back home safely. Remember, drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation. A good message. I know none of us would do that.
That was smooth, Don. That was a nice, smooth transition from fatherhood to drunk driving. Really smooth. Really smooth.
That. Well, that's what we can do here on this here podcast.
When's the last time? Is it difficult to have the entire organization on your shoulders as you continue to carry us through this pandemic?
We defer that question to Vuce. Vuce is the one physically carrying all of us here, but you're right. We have an obligation, and it's great that we can help in that way. But Vuce, you haven't driven a car in probably 3 weeks. Do you miss kind of the luxuries of getting in a vehicle and going where you want to go, and you kind of take that for granted.
Well, I am a big car guy, so I do actually miss it. I really enjoy driving. But we have golf carts here that we can take from our building to the building where we have our
Okay.
meeting stuff, because our building is the farthest, so they let us use it. So sometimes I'll do that. And then I have my gaming setup in my room, the steering wheel, and so I drive, my Formula One game. Although I never drive, 200 miles an hour on a
Right.
freeway. I do it in the car, but yeah, so I know I get a feel for that. But yeah, I do. I mean, you miss a lot of the stuff that you usually do, but like I said, I think the setup was pretty good here, so we were able to get by so far.
But I know you don't miss sitting behind someone at a light while they're texting, right? There's some things you don't miss, right?
Yeah, and then the people, going in the left lane on the freeway at 50 when the speed limit is 65, and they're 50, and you're like, you're trying to get back past them. You're blinking your lights, you're pressing your honk, nothing, and you go by them and you look, and they're just like.
By the way, that I know you haven't seen the outside world in a month. That hasn't changed.
That hasn't changed.
It's
Yeah.
all still there. So that'll be
Especially
there
with the
for you
I-4 now, I know what it changes every day. There's
Oh.
new lanes, new ways. It's
Yep.
you have to be focused on the max. But those things I definitely don't miss. Those things are I don't miss.
Good
those.
Hey, I just saw George sneeze. He goes into a 14-day quarantine after the podcast is over.
Just some dust. It was just dust. Just dust.
Are you done? Are you over the testing? Is it like what's your? I'm sure you don't miss the testing. I'm sure you'd be fine going a couple days without it. But are you getting used to it? Is it all second nature by now?
I mean, the testing literally takes like 2 minutes if you have to wait for somebody. It takes like 4, so it's not bad. I mean, it just you go. We have like these bands that we scan everywhere we go in, so they know, and then you get your date of birth. You make sure when they print out the paper, it's, everything is right. Although I don't rarely ever check. I just said it's good, and then I just you go to the station, and then just take a nose, and then you're swab, and then it's easy. I mean, it really like the actual testing part takes like 10 seconds.
Right.
But I mean, sometimes like if like you get tested at different times each day, so if it's like right after practice, you have to go by there anyways to get, so it's easy. But if you're like in the middle of the day off and you're like, you got to go get tested, and you're like, oh man, like, so that part is kind of, I know, and then you're always thinking like, oh, did I get tested? Did I get tested? It's kind of always on your mind, but hasn't.
Listen, we're reading that people are forgetting. Don't forget. Don't be one of those guys
I mean,
that
like
forgets.
on an off day, if you're not really going there, you can forget, so it happens, but I mean, I haven't forgotten yet. I've been good, but they do a good job reminding us. But really, the testing part, it's not. I mean, it takes literally like 5 minutes max to do it. It's every day. It's part of your routine now. But it's better to be safe, than to have this all having to stop because we weren't as serious about it.
Pooch, have you had a chance to watch any of the televised games? I'm wondering what you hear on a broadcast. Does it sound different than what you're experiencing in the arena itself?
Well, actually, like when we play, I don't really like when the game is going on. I don't like. I thought it was gonna be very weird for me, like to not have fans and stuff. And in moments, it is, like if you make a shot, if it's like a moment or something. Although it was exhibition games, so there weren't as many big moments and stuff. But you miss that energy. But yeah, when you watch it on TV, I mean, you hear all the sneakers, on the floor. You hear like if somebody says something, it's. I mean, there's always, even in the arena, it's not necessarily loud. There's always that noise kind of in the background of the fans, to where ears are so quiet. And for me, the most kind of weird moment was when I had like an N1 and I was at the free throw line, and I started like dribbling and I stopped, and it was like, and I'm looking up and it's like so quiet. There's nothing. Usually you have fans. There's something going on, and kind of, I don't know, you use that in a way. And there was just like nothing. It was super quiet. So I missed, but it was like so weird for me. And then actually last game when we played the Nuggets, that were like making fake noise from the fans, like through the speakers, and actually helped me. Like actually will help me focus because I'm so used to it now. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that they're gonna try to do different things. It's not gonna be the same, obviously, as when you have real fans. I mean, that's one of the best part of playing professional sports is that you play in front of thousands of people and you feed off their energy and there's something going on. You know, you score a big bucket. You know, if you're on the road, you stare at them. If you know you're home, you feed off the energies. Like just something about that you know we enjoy. We won't have this now, but I think that you know the NBA did a good job with setting up screens and you know lighting and a bunch of stuff to make it as good as we can. But like I said, once we start playing, I mean, honestly, it hasn't you know in certain moments here and there, but overall, you know, you kind of just play, you don't think about it.
Is there more talking? Do you hear more talking between the players? Do you have a funny moment that, you know, an opposing player said something that you could share with us?
No, not really. I mean, that part's kind of been, you know, pretty similar. I mean, certain things like you kind of ask how it's been, you know, how they're doing, how was all that, but nothing too specific that I really nothing.
No
like
good, no good trash talking. No good trash talking for
not
the
much.
scrimmages.
I mean, it were scrimmages, so it wasn't, you know.
That's true.
You know, so
True,
maybe
yeah, it wasn't.
you know if we do another podcast because it looks like I'm the only guest on here. We can, you know, once we start the you know the serious games, maybe we can. I'll have some.
We should just put your name on the podcast. Just call it
We'll
just rename. Yeah, just call it
it's
the
like sixth time on it.
You need to get, and that's in like 2 months, 6th time in 2 months.
That's why we got 2 sponsors now because
need to
we
get
said
some
you're gonna be
royalties.
on. That's what I'm saying.
You're getting
You
a
know
piece, right, Vooch? You get a piece of this, of Dante's.
Yeah, the more I do, the more my percentage grows. So
Correct.
Yeah, we're up
We're-
to 7 viewers now. It's really taking off. It's
We're
really
relying
taking
on
off.
you. You know, during the season, you're forced to hang out with Evan because you guys are going to the same place. But now, can you kind of pick who you want to? Can you get together with other people from other teams, and you have other common areas, right, where you can get together with whoever you want.
yeah, I mean, well, unfortunately, Evan's room is right next to mine, so we still when we go into places and stuff, like I still run into him. But I mean,
Okay,
it is
fair
you know
enough.
the time where you can like hang out with a bunch of the guys from the team because we're all here, and then you also get to meet some of the other players from other teams. I think you know once you start playing, if you're gonna play some of those teams, it won't be as much. But I've seen a lot of the guys from the Mavs. You know, they're here too. They hang out by the pool a lot, so I was able to spend some time with them. You know, Boban, Doncic, and all those guys. Porzingis, a lot of Euros, of course.
Yeah, sure.
And like I said, some of the guys, you know, from Serbia, from other teams. But you run into, you know, a bunch of, you know, like we have 8 teams in this hotel. So you run in a bunch of those guys, you know, you catch up quickly, you know, you talk to them for a little bit. But, you know, as much as, you know, free time we have, we're all on different schedules. So,
Yeah, right.
you know, you don't really have that much time to see everybody. It's kind of like we go into practice, you know, they're coming back, or, you know, we just finished, somebody else is going back. You know, they're going to dinner, we have a meeting, you know, we're resting. So it's, you know, you thought we would have like more time to see, you know, to hang out with other people, but it's not really because, you know, there's so much. And then if you want to go to the other hotel, you know, there's buses to take and different things. So it's not as simple, you know, to figure it all out and make it work.
Hey, Vooch, Jonathan Isaac played 7 of the most exciting minutes that I can remember watching Magic basketball through the years the other night. To what degree did that energize the basketball team in the locker room? We saw your reaction on the side of the court there, but just to see him back out there, what has that done for the psyche of the basketball team?
That was great to have him back. You know, it was exciting. You know, obviously for him, it was, you know, the most difficult to be out so long. And so, you know, now, you know, with everything that happened, actually gave you an opportunity to, you know, possibly get back and play. So we were very happy, you know, to see him back. You know, he played great. I mean, he scored 14 or 13 in 7 minutes. It was very impressive, but he looked really good. But we're just all happy for him. You know, obviously when you get a guy, you know, who has a big impact on a team back, you know, it helps for sure. And, you know, his impact is big for us, especially on the defensive end. So, you know, we hope that, you know, he'll be ready to play for the games and that we can use him a little bit, you know, here and there. And that'd be huge for us. But, yeah, it was definitely, you know, positive energy. Him and Markel both, you know, joining. But especially, you know, J.I. because he was out for so long. So it was fun. Although we do wish, you know, the minutes restriction wasn't only 8 minutes. But you know, let's not get to that right now.
Yeah, we're with you. We were ready for more. Yeah. Well, how important is this depth, Vooch? You got, I mean, Gary had a nice game, James Ennis. So we've already heard Steve Clifford say we're going to go 10, 11, maybe 12 players deep. So this is unprecedented. We don't know what we're up against just yet, but it looks like you've got a number of guys that are going to be ready to contribute when called upon.
It's important, because we play every other day, and that's going to be 8 games in 15 nights or something like that. And so, you're going to have to use, bigger rotation than you usually would, because in season, there's a lot of games, but a lot of times you have 2 days here and there, sometimes even 3. So those extra days help to where here it's like every other day, and sometimes we play at night, sometimes in the morning, sometimes not. So all that, can have an effect on players. So you never know what's going to happen, and it's important to have everybody available and ready. And I think that from the first day in camp, I think that we could see that everybody came back ready, everybody came back motivated, and guys had good games. And I think that's important for them, for their confidence. Gary had a great game, especially shooting the ball against the Denver. James Ennis played great for us. Everybody really that stepped on the court had an impact. So it's good to know, for us as players, and also for for the coaching staff, that they can count on them, if in specific situation if they're needed.
Has there been a situation yet, Vooch, where Joel Glass is swimming in the pool and you guys want to relax, and it's too much? It's just too much.
Good question.
Well, yesterday actually I was at the pool, and he was doing laps, but when you ask him like, hey Joel, how many laps you did? He says 60, but our laps are like a quarter of a real lap, so like 15 actual laps. But he's actually there every morning swimming. Which actually I have a lot of respect for him for that, because I don't know how old is he. I don't want to throw out a number out there, hurt his feeling, but I don't think I will be swimming that much at that age.
He's trying to keep it going. He's trying to keep it going. Yeah.
We hear Cliff is in there too every morning, right? Does Cliff get in the weight room as well? He's working out. He looks great too.
He says he does. I've never. I haven't seen him here because he probably does it really early in the morning.
Right.
I haven't seen him, but
there's no way Vooch
Orlando a couple times, but he does like the elliptical and stuff. I don't really count that as a workout. So.
Well, he's in there at 6 a.m. There's no way Vooch is anywhere other than that bed he's laying in right now. At 6
is like it has to be at least 7 for me. Anything before 7 is way too early.
Right. That's why I don't see Cliff.
But see, Joel's in there at 6. Joel's our chief communications officer. But the good thing about that is if you miss it, Vooch, he'll tell you. Joel's great at reminding you what he did for his workouts, right?
Yeah, he does actually like doing it, and he doesn't do that.
Let's do that. All right. Well, good deal. Well, listen, we always appreciate the time, Vooch. It's great catching up with you. And I know you got to be excited for these games to count for real, right?
I am. Well, the next few days, and then, Friday, once Friday hits, I think it's going to be, especially that first game, I think that we're all going to be excited to be back and, play the real meaningful game. So we're looking forward to it. We'll need the support from all the fans. I know it'll be virtual and stuff, but we can still use it. And funny, I've talked about this before, but I already was receiving, tweets on my Twitter of how I suck and how I do this and that. So it's great to have that back too. I miss those.
Come on, after 2 scrimmages, you're getting those tweets.
I tried to use my burner account. They came through on mine. I tried to use my burner account.
Right away, it was there. Actually, that's one of the first things I went to look at to see if those guys were going to do it, and they did it. It was funny.
You've got to be kidding me, right? And you had a great first game. I don't understand that at all.
Well, it was funny. I just laughed because I just want to know why they do it.
They're trying to get your mind right. They know that's how we operate during the year. They're trying to get your mind right.
George, do you have word? Do you talk to the guys about that? Do you have a specific set of instructions for Vooch, like don't engage?
No, I like to think that they're grown-ups and they know right from wrong. So I trust their judgment most of the time. Most of the time I trust their judgment.
Sure,
yes.
Sure.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to be scouring Twitter to find out. I'll get your back. I'll get on there for you.
Hey, but you guys can send me the check to my house from all the money the podcast will make.
Got it.
Well, here's one more. This podcast is presented to you by the all-new Seltos SUV from Kia, official vehicle of the Orlando Magic. Give it everything. Join us in 2 weeks when our guest will be Nik Vucevic here on Magic Pod Squad. Great to see you, Vooch. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you too.
Thanks, Vooch.
See you, Vooch.